Hello, party people. I wanted to go over my card for the reading of the week, and I have the Four of Swords, Truce. This is a card of conflict negotiation or a mediating mind in general. This is Jupiter in Libra. So Jupiter is a planet that expands things. It's generally thought to be benefic. Some people think of it as lucky, but it can sometimes touch things that we don't want it to, like our impulses or our temper. But in this case, it is expanding Libra, which is a sign that is very peacekeeping and interested in balance and justice. They're also interested in aesthetics, and they generally just want things to be chill and harmonious. So when we have Jupiter expanding Libra, you might be experiencing yourself as some sort of conflict negotiator or in the middle of something, needing to kind of make a truce. So this conflict can be within yourself. It could also be with other people in your environment, or it could also be just generally referring to kind of the crazy conflict that we have to deal with on a macro level in this country and in the world. But it might be a little bit more personal also. So wherever we're dealing with the conflict within ourselves or with others, in order to really get to the heart of the matter, which is represented by this pretty white lotus here, we need to be fully committed to negotiating with our mind, body, heart, and spirit. So if you are intellectually kind of done arguing, but you're secretly still pissed off, like, you're not going to be effectively conflict negotiating. Also, if you have kind of like an intellectual agenda in mind, like you really want something to go a certain way, that's not really conflict negotiation. That's sort of more like a business deal. And if you come at somebody with the intention of resolving a conflict and that's how you're approaching it, you might damage that relationship further or make the situation worse. So these four swords also refer to the fourfold way of dealing with conflict. And the first part of this is to firstly show up. So when we get called out or have some sort of conflict, a lot of us don't like how that feels and we want to escape. And that's understandable, but, and you also might want to deflect and be like, no, well, you did this. That's not really helpful if you're trying to, if both people feel like they're right, so you have to show up and actually like listen to what's going on. The second thing to do is to pay attention. So a lot of things go awry when we are inattentive. Like if we're driving and you're not paying attention, you get in a car crash. It's similar interpersonally. If you are going through life and you're not paying attention to your own needs and your own experiences and also how you're affecting other people, you could be doing things to like harm others and not be aware, or you also could offend others and just kind of do things that are a little gauche. So it's important to pay attention to what you're doing, what your surroundings are, and what's actually going on instead of our assumptions that we kind of make on autopilot. The third thing that we must do is tell the truth. So when we're paying attention, if we're doing it through this lens of our own, making, that's not really going to be helpful. We need to be honest about what's in front of us. So we can all be shitty sometimes, and that's being human, and it's totally fine. But it's important to be like real with ourselves about how we're contributing to a situation and what we could actually do to like minimize the conflict. Also, if you tend to be a person that minimizes your own experiences and kind of yields to others, maybe you're paying attention and you're realizing like, oh, this person's kind of being a jerk. My boundaries are being crossed. So it's important to be honest about what we see when we do pay attention. And then the last thing to do when we're mediating conflict is to not have an outcome in mind, so to be open. And that's really important, because if you have an outcome, again, that's more like a business deal than a conflict negotiation. It's super important, because when we are trying to when we're trying to maintain our relationships, being right, it might feel good temporarily, like having the last word, but what's really more important, like keeping your relationships healthy and functioning, or like you did leave your keys on the counter and that's why I lost them or was late. You know, who cares? Honestly, who cares? So yeah, truce. How could you expand your peacekeeping qualities, or like what do you need to be honest about and pay attention to within yourself, and how can you reconcile those things? I hope that y'all are having a good start to your week. We have, I believe, Uranus in a hard square with Mars and square Mercury coming up, and that's on the 23rd. It's supposed to be super annoying. Like, watch what you say. Really, like, think before you speak, because this transit's supposed to be kind of bonkers. So yeah, be nice. And be aware that you might be annoying and that others might be annoying, and it's totally fine. We all still love each other. Okay, bye.